So I'd like to ask you three questions on a similar topic. Number one, what does an adult moose eat to grow a rack of antlers in about 3 months that weigh about 85 pounds and are made out of solid bone? Number two, why is cow's milk high in calcium if cows don't drink milk? Where do cows get their calcium from? Number three, does dairy give us stronger bones? And number four, how do we avoid osteoporosis or brittle bones?
God, we look like those people in an old Scope commercial passing the bottle around. Okay. Clearly, okay. I love the question about the moose antlers because, Alan, you're about 6 feet, right? If we flayed him and took all the meat and skin off his skeleton would weigh about 25 pounds, and it took him 20 years to get that skeleton. But a moose can grow antlers made out of solid bone in 3 months that weigh 85 pounds, eating nothing but green plants. Proof positive, there's plenty of calcium in green plants.
That's kind of cool about the moose thing. I'm learning new things here on this panel. Because I was just in Wyoming 2 weeks ago, and I was actually in a store looking at all these antlers, and I was hitting them and going, that was like a rock. This is rock hard. It's they carry, yeah, it's amazing. Anyway. All right, well, back to the real world. Yes, we're talking here about as we age, if we're going to live longer, and we're going to push the envelope of human longevity to 95 or 100, we want to have our full mental faculties intact. We want to have our musculoskeletal system working and our bones working too, right? And so that's why we think ahead and we do the right things when we're younger to keep our bones protected as we age. And it's not all just about what we eat either. It's about exercising regularly and the right type of exercise. And so it's also about, even things like alignment. Like, for example, if your feet are severely pronated in, it could make you have more tibial torsion where your knees go in, and that could put more stress on your hip and more likely to have more weight on the medial tibial condyle and more likely to develop osteoarthritis of your knee. And so we're just trying to give people a holistic approach where they're eating right, they're getting enough, as Alan said, getting enough sleep at night, and they're exercising appropriately to maintain the right amount of muscle mass and strength as they age. And I'll tell you what I found, that doing this way of eating keeps your youthful vigor and your strength and your stamina and ability to enjoy sports and do the exercises as you get older easily. And our work with athletes also show that we prolong their careers and their enjoyment of athletic activity, and their bodies don't age as much. So what we're seeing in the conventional society where people get to be a certain age, like 65, and they can't exercise, and their bones are gone, and their joints are bad, and they can't keep them, and they start to lose muscle mass and bone mass, because of course, that you don't just lose bone mass, you lose muscle mass and bone mass, because muscle and bone grow together and they atrophy together. So osteopenia or osteoporosis is not a it's not a disease of the bones, it's a degree of the muscles and the bones that work together. And the way we keep our bones strong is by keeping our muscles strong. And the way we keep our muscles strong is by keeping healthy so we can keep our muscles strong. So it's a little bit complicated, but when we do everything right, it makes everything else that we put into the mix work better.
So if you want to have strong bones, our bones were designed to live as long as, or to function as long as we are alive, but we don't take care of them very well. And we have been told, I used to believe it, milk builds strong bones, right? So I drank milk and ate a lot of cheese and ended up fat, and it didn't work out so well for me. But the point is that I think there are 4 things you have to do to build strong bones and a strong body. And I agree with what you said. It's really muscles and bones. People who have muscular bodies rarely have crumbling bones. You don't see this in Olympic athletes, for example. So I think exercise is a key, because exercise triggers, particularly weight-bearing exercise, triggers the bone remodeling process. Eating a health-promoting diet, including a low-acid residue diet, so that your body isn't dissolving your bones to buffer acidity. So a whole foods, plant-based diet. Sunlight. because it helps you produce vitamin D. And your gastrointestinal tract has to be in good shape. I mean, 2 common causes of thinning bones are celiac disease, gastrointestinal tract not working well, and there's a fix for that. You have to change your diet, and probiotics are helpful. And taking drugs like corticosteroids that damage the microbiome and interfere with absorption of nutrients. So if you take care of those 4 things, you have a very good chance of living in your own home independently, strong enough to pick something up off the floor and tie your shoes and get something out of the cabinet and prepare your own food, not ending up in some kind of nursing home facility until the end of your life. And I think that's what we all really want, is not to end up warehoused someplace. So if you want to keep your independence, that involves a strong musculoskeletal system. I think those are the 4 most important things to pay attention to.
My mother, when she turned 92 years old, told me that she realized that she had outlived all 52 of her lifelong friends, that they had all died. Many of them used to tease her mercilessly about her diet. And she said, "Alan, you need to warn your patients. If they're going to do this diet, make younger friends."